Hey there, everybody. I'm Afefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. For those of you who, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I hope you like what you see and like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. For my regulars, you probably hear a little difference in my voice. Some of you know that I have been sick. Went to Mexico for vacation, came back, got sick. Luckily, it was not COVID. It was just a cold/virus. So I'm still dealing with that a little bit. Got some juice going, so my voice may sound a little thick, but I feel well enough. Thank you all so much for your prayers, your thoughts. Got so much, wonderful feedback from you all. Also want to say a special thank you. I had to postpone some readings, trying to reschedule some readings that I had because I just wasn't up to it. And the one thing is, what I do, this is energy. And if I'm not feeling up to task, if I feel like I can't channel and I can't get the insight, then I'm doing you a disservice. So some of you were just really, really gracious about being willing to reschedule with me. And I really thank you for that. So we'll get back to that. Couple of housekeeping things I want to mention before we get into today's reading. Classes. I have a class coming up with Susan Lynn. We're doing a series of classes. We've been building momentum with that. Many of you are excited about it, and we're excited to keep working with you on it. This next one that we're doing is on Next Level. It's going to be on June 22nd, and it is Next Level Spirit Guides and Animal Totems, you all. It's going to be juicy, okay? So $66 for 2 hours, me and Susan Lynn, right? So really, really money well spent. It will be recorded, so even if you can't make it for some reason on that date or something comes up, you'll get the recording. I am going to do a separate video probably in the next week or so to just kind of do a basic outline. Not going to do, not going to get into the workshop itself. We'll save that for the 22nd, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this, the magnificent ways that we can work with animals to improve our spiritual practice, to gain better insight, to develop our psychic abilities, to do better healing, to be more cognizant, and to raise our vibration. We need all the resources at our disposal these days, you all. Like more and more and more to keep ourselves grounded, to keep ourselves uplifted, to keep ourselves strong, right? So, and I believe in that, by the way, with everything in me. I walk my talk as many of you do. So I think that's one reason why if anyone had said to me 2 days ago, I'm taping this on Sunday, on Friday, you all, I couldn't even get out of bed. Swear to you, couldn't even get out of bed Friday. So to think 2 days later, here I am able to come to you. Spirit is real. Spirit is real. And this includes our animal totem. So more on that. I'll put the link to that class below. Again, that's going to be on June 22nd. Third thing is, many of you have been talking about, so many of you have gotten my tarot guide, for which I'm really, really grateful. And I do tarot classes. People have, you've been asking about if I do classes, and I do. I have pre-recorded classes from prior workshops that are available for $37. You can, if you PayPal me, and I'll give you the information on that down below as well. And you can get those. Those are private links. They're not to be shared because you're paying for them. That's your information. So, but if for $37, you get 3 hours of instruction, right? For $37, and these were from actual workshops that I've done. I've also decided that for $67 on June 29th, and again, I'll put that down below, on June 29th, I'm going to do a Zoom. I'll do a Zoom, so that in addition to sending you the pre-recorded workshops, then you'll have a live Zoom with me for questions and answers, and we can dig into it a little more. All right. So again, all of that information down below, but mark that date. It'll be Saturday, June 29th at 2 p.m. Eastern. I needed to make that note. Okay. 2 p.m. Eastern. So that would be 11 Pacific, 1 Central, etc., etc. All right. So, and again, all the information for that down below, but just wanted to give you those key dates. June 22nd, the workshop with me and Susan Lynn on Next Level Spirit Guides and Animal Totems. The following week, June 29th, will be my tarot workshop, Make It Personal. I always call it Make It Personal, keeping in tune with the title of my book. That said, let's get into some brief politics, you all. On the heels of the celebration, like I was so mad about getting sick when I wanted to really celebrate. You know, the 34 count all in on Donald Trump. We knew it was coming. I kept getting a hung jury, and I think what I was picking up on towards the end, I went back to Spirit, and they said hung, but eventually a conviction. And I remember when I look back at it, that what they were talking about. Remember how the jury kept going back. Not kept going back, but they went back. They needed more instruction. They wanted to see certain portions of the testimony. So there was some back and forth, and it wasn't an immediate thing. It took them. I thought it was going to come in on Friday, but Spirit said, I guess they said, why wait till tomorrow? What we can do today. So from Wednesday through then later in the day on Thursday, we got that. So here we have already Jim Jordan and the far right crazies. They're now talking about dragging in Alvin Bragg, and we're just going to dismantle. We're going to just throw everything against the wall and try to dismantle it all. Be that as it may, I want to talk a little bit today, you all, about want to take a look at this Hunter Biden trial that's coming up on the gun charges. We know that he's also going to be facing a trial in California in September. I think it's scheduled for, on the tax charges. But the one that's immediate is coming up. Jury selection starts tomorrow, Monday, I believe, in Delaware, on this gun charge situation. You all, this is ugly. And I wanted to preface it by saying, Spirit had me thinking about and brought to my spirit, all respect, let me put these cards down for a moment, all respect to Marion Robinson, who passed away this weekend, the mother of Michelle Obama. We're talking, when we think about political, quote unquote, dynasties or legacies, remembering that, both Michelle Obama and her mother, Marion, they made tremendous adjustments as women. And with so much this year, this election being tied into the rights of women, the strength of women, the power of women, the fact that this current political atmosphere is trying to take away so many women's rights, reproductive rights, the idea that we're just supposed to go back 50, 60 years and, just be wives and in the kitchen. I don't want to get on my soapbox about that. But the point is, we know that Michelle Obama made tremendous sacrifices in walking away from an extremely successful career in order to support Barack Obama in his political ambitions, and then becoming an extremely influential first lady, right? Some even said they liked her better than they liked him, right? And there were a lot of there was some pressure being put on her to continue in a political vein once Barack Obama left office. She said she wasn't having any of it. It left such a not a scar, I won't call it that, but if you've read her books and watched her documentary, she definitely walked away with, to have them hold that office down under the extreme scrutiny and glare and vitriol that they experienced for 8 years, and to have it end on a note with someone like Donald Trump becoming president. That was just a bridge too far, I think, for Michelle Obama. And I think that was one reason that she just said, and will not, Spirit has said, she will not return to politics. I had one brief glimmer when I heard about her mom's death, Marion Robinson's death, if in fact that might spark Michelle Obama, or even her daughters, Sasha and Malia, to get back into politics in a more vocal way, or in some sort of pursuit. And Spirit is saying, no, I want to go ahead and also just go ahead and, they're telling me pull a card on that, or two on that as well. But I think the Obamas will continue to be four swords. Yeah, they're not doing it. And because they were of service, they did create a moment in history, a legacy that can never be erased. But based on the times that we are in, and for the foreseeable future, the turns that we are taking, I do not see this sparking Michelle Obama to really get back into politics. I do believe that on some level, we know that Barack Obama will show up more on the campaign trail. Six of Cups, yes. Barack Obama will show up on the campaign trail more as a surrogate for Joe Biden, 100%. I think to a certain extent we will hear from Michelle as well. But it is just worth noting that Marion Robinson's life was truly changed. And she made that not sacrifice, but made the decision when Michelle and Barack said, "Listen, we're president and first lady now. We want you. We want to give our daughters some sense of normalcy, and you as their grandmother, we want you to come to Washington with us and continue to help us raise these daughters." And she did so, and she did it with class. She did it with humbleness. She was not someone who sought the spotlight, just an incredible figure. And I thought about her in terms as well of what we have seen in, say, for instance, the Trump trial, and how, yes, Eric Trump showed up finally. But we already, Ivanka, we know that tension within that family. Melania, where, when, who saw her, right? Not happening. So the idea of family loyalty, the idea of up, down, good days, bad days, hell or high water, as the old folks used to say, that I've got your back. That doesn't exist. And even in that moment that many political pundits were talking about when the verdict was handed down for Donald Trump, and there was this moment apparently where he reached out for Eric's hand, and there was almost a miss, like it was awkward, it was awkward, and it spoke to something that Trump clearly was feeling in that moment. But it's just twisted. It just doesn't exist on the same plane as, say, a family like the Obamas. Moving that into a family like the Bidens. This story, you all, I should have. Hold on for me 1 second. I've got one here right in front of me. Yeah, I got them both here. So, and I read these a while ago. Kathleen, Hunter Biden's ex-wife, Kathleen Buell, If We Break. I read that, and then I also read Hunter Biden's memoir, Beautiful Things. This is some interesting stuff, you all. It's really the Biden, we've heard so much about it. There are so many opinions around Biden, the reasons for Hunter's drug use, alcoholism. There's lots of opinions around how he wound up going from basically worshiping Beau. And this has especially been highlighted this week because of apparently the Bidens all got together in honor of the 9th anniversary of Beau's passing. So just this weekend, there were pictures of Joe Biden and Hunter biking together, etc. So the family is trying to hold together and rally around, talking about loyalty, no matter what, hell or high water. Hunter Biden. Let me pick these up and start over and fresh with the shuffle. Hunter Biden, you all, I am feeling like, first of all, there's a question about whether or not he can get an impartial jury in Delaware, especially now on the wake of a week after the conviction of Donald Trump. And so there's going to be a really interesting process to get a jury of, picked of people who they can try and make sure are not going to be out for retribution for those who may be Trump supporters. That aside, just based on the facts of the case, 3 of Wands. That's that's this case building, and that's this case, so many facets of this case having already been put into motion. We remember that just in previous months we heard about the plea deal. We knew about the plea deal that had been reached, and it blew up. The same judge that blew it up, I forget her name, but the same judge that blew it up is the judge who's going to be overseeing this trial. She said she refused to rubber stamp this deal because she didn't understand what the terms were and whether or not they were legit. Okay. I found out, did not realize, because he doesn't go into it in his book, Beautiful Things, that it was Beau Biden's widow, Hallie Biden, who found the gun in Hunter's truck, took the gun to a convenience store, threw it in a trash can, because at that time he was still using drugs. And she was concerned. Here he is around her children. By this time, they were living together. He had broken up with Kathleen, and they were living together. They were full on whatever. And so she finds this gun in his truck, and she goes and she tosses it in a trash can miles away. I didn't realize that. I wasn't even sure how the gun had been discovered. Okay. So for the trial, they have records of the text messages between Hallie and Hunter, in reference to his reaction and her reaction once he realized that she had found this gun. The idea, so the whole, it's clear that he was using drugs for entertainment purposes only. I am asking whether, ultimately, I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty quick trial. Will they be able to find, two things I'm asking Spirit, if they're going to find a jury that is solid, not somehow a wackadoo sneaks on there. If they're going to find a solid jury, let's go there first. Will they be able to find a solid and impartial jury? The Tower. The Tower. This is going to be a mess. Ruled by Pluto and Mars. And the Page of Swords. That's one of the attorneys. And Death. That's his father. That's his father. Okay. Death ruled by Scorpio. And so when I see Death, I think of Joe Biden. Not in the literal sense by any means. May it never be so. But in the sense that Death is ruled by Scorpio. Deep transformation. Deep truths. When we get to Scorpionic energy, it is about getting to the bottom and the root of things. But I think what's happening here is there's so much that, like it or not, and it always has been, that every facet of this trial, you all, is going to be tied or try to be tied somehow, some way to Joe Biden. There are, Spirit is reminding me, the guides are reminding me that there's a lot going on around, I knew it was coming, thank you, Spirit, the Ten of Pentacles, meaning what I was about to say, there's a lot going on around the costs of Hunter Biden's trial. He is, he is mounting legal bills. He has no real income. I think I read his little paintings, this fine art turn that he's trying to take and launch his career. Say in 2023, he made something like $47,000 from selling his artwork. We know about that dalliance with the woman in, what was it, in Arkansas or somewhere, and he had the child with her. There was a lot around that. He's been ordered to pay child support there. He's in over $2 million in arrearages, I believe, or close to that, in alimony, back alimony to Kathleen Buell. So she's got him in court for that. Now we've got these other trial cases coming up, these federal cases coming up. I mean, we're talking, I think I read there was an estimate of around $10 million, and he doesn't have it. He doesn't have money coming in. He's got this attorney out of L.A., Kevin Morris, who's been helping to finance a lot of his legal bills, but even he is running out of money. So the point is, in order to continue to finance, and pay for his legal representation, at what point they're going to be watching every dime and nickel that is spent to make sure, because what can Joe Biden do? What can he do in this situation to help his son, and yet that won't seem to be somehow prejudicial in the system? Because to try and help his son, Ten of Swords, thank you, Spirit. They're like, yes, that's the problem. Ten of Swords is stress to the max. Doesn't get any more stressful than this. And that's a horrible bind for Joe Biden to be in. Again, talking about family legacies and willingness to stick together no matter what. Joe wants to help Hunter in every possible way he can. He wants to put this behind his son. He wants to make sure his son continues to stay sober. But what can he do? If he steps in and starts to pay the money or arranges, that he can't do it. His hands are tied. somehow, and efforts apparently to fundraise for Hunter have only turned up. People are not exactly jumping on board for him. So, be that as it may, the financial aspect of this is going to be an issue. How long can he continue to get really top notch quality representation for little or no money? Like, who's doing it for that? That's a challenge. Back to the jury, because we got that Tower card. Queen of Pentacles, that's the judge. And the Star. Okay, they will. It's going to be a process. They're really going to have to, because of the timing of this, the fact that this is coming, this jury is being selected right on the heels of Donald Trump's conviction in New York. So it is going to be a really rigorous process to try and get that jury of his peers, people who they feel can honestly be objective. Now, ultimately, will Joe Biden, will Hunter Biden be convicted for the gun possession charges, or obtaining the gun illegally and violating laws for that? Will he be convicted on that? King of Swords, Four of Wands, and the World. King of Swords, Four of Wands, and the World. You all, I think in combination, this is saying, yes, he will likely be found guilty of having purchased that gun, lying on that federal form that he was not a drug user. But the World coming, I think here is a saving grace, in that he probably is gonna be facing some form of long-term probation, some form of, whatever other mechanisms. He will not, King of Wands, that's his attorneys. They may, and Eight of Cups. They're going to walk away from it. I don't see this being appealed just because of the financial aspect of it. That might change. I'm feeling a little waffling on that. But I feel like at this point, Hunter himself is ready to just walk away. Eight of Cups is a card of, sometimes they call it a card of withdrawal. But this has gone on so long. It's been prolonged that I think Hunter is almost ready to just take his lumps and whatever it takes to just move on from this, you all. It does feel, with that World and the Seven of Wands, this, because from the outcome from this trial, remember, he's got to get ready to go to the next one in California on the tax charges. For me, the tax charges are feeling a little, and I'll look into that as we get closer to it, but the tax charges are feeling like that has a little more levity, a little more, the stakes are higher for that one even than this gun charge, because he didn't use the gun. It's not like the gun was used in any crime or anything like that. It's just the fact that he lied on the form. So I think, again, that's why we got the World. There will be, if found guilty, and it's kind of looking that way, there will be some sort of sentencing handed down, but I don't see it, with that Eight of Cups, I don't see it as being very, something that's life-altering for him. I see it as something that's going to help, it's going to bring this matter to a conclusion. I don't see him wanting to draw it out with any long-term appeals. But what this also does, Nine of Swords, I knew that was coming. Here's the tough thing, you all, because with that conviction, now he's got this record. And again, so where does he go with his life from here? His artwork is a modicum of income compared to what he used to make as a highly successful attorney and lobbyist, right? Where does Hunter go from here to continue to earn money? He's going to have a heck of a lot of debt that continues to mount in addition to what he already has. So that's what's going to be first and foremost on his mind. And what's really interesting, I'm going to hold that card up, for that is a snake over the head of that figure there. So it's almost as if what Spirit is saying here is there is a regeneration that's waiting for Hunter, but it's also in the shadows. It's also about whether he can get out of his own way, because with his background, with his illness, with his disease, with a lot of his life circumstances and certainly his life choices, there's he's facing one of the toughest issues yet, which is once you've absolutely bottomed out, where do you go? How do you continue? Two of Cups. His wife, as wild as that latest relationship may seem, it does seem to be working for him. He met this woman, and married her 60 days later, a couple of months later. Now they have a kid together, but he said, she's helped him stay sober, and supposedly, up until now, that seems to be what's happening. But Seven of Cups, yeah. Hunter Biden is going to need a lot of light and prayer for his ability to find himself. This is him dealing with the effects of so many years of bad choices, and the fact that all of this, he plays this central role in his father's life, as he should, but the fact that we know how much his personal issues have been politicized and weaponized, and no one knows that better than him. How does he then take that and move past it and decide for himself that he's good enough? That's what Spirit is saying. Hunter is at a point of, on the one hand, he was raised in a way that he felt almost entitled to a good life and belief that he was going back to the central message that Spirit gave me about family legacies, political legacies in particular. So he believed that his ticket was written to a certain extent. And he marked that ticket all over, with black marker. He knows this. No one knows this better than he does. But now he's at a point of, where does he go with it? Knowing, too, that even after this trial, he's got that next one coming up in California in September. Spirit, any last information or insight on Hunter Biden? Nine of Pentacles. He's focused on where do I go from here? Queen of Swords. That's his wife, but I also feel like that's someone else that he's gaining counsel from. And the Five of Wands. Yeah, he's in for a battle. That Five of Wands, that conflict. He's tired of fighting. On the other hand, he is his father's son, and he will continue to fight. And the Wheel of Fortune. What is his karma? What is his destiny? What is the Wheel of Fortune, Spirit? The Devil. Will he stay sober? Will he stay sober? Six of Wands. He's fighting it. He needs a lot of prayer. That devil is being chained to the past. Very often it is a card that appears where there is substance abuse involved, and we know that's part of his history. But I do believe he's trying. He's fighting for all that he's worth, and he's getting, the fact that through thick and thin, no matter what, Joe Biden has stuck by his side. Joe Biden loves him, has gone to the mat for him. Remembering too that Joe Biden, in the midst of this incredible election year, that there is now this added on to it. And that could very well play. That California trial starting in September is going to creep right up to election. That's a lot on. He feels responsible. Thank you, Spirit. Hunter feels a great deal of responsibility and remorse for adding all of this to his father's plate, to Joe Biden's plate. Thank you. I got an Ace of Cups. You all who work with me know that my aces are yes. That's how the guides let me know I'm on track. Okay, aces are yes. That's what this is. That is over. Above. It's almost as if Hunter is saying, I could take the punishment. Whatever the punishment is, I could take it. But he's really having tremendous remorse over the fact that so much of this, his choices, his life, how much it blends over into right, wrong, or indifferent into Joe Biden, into his father. And that's what's weighing on him most. And that is what he's going to need the most light shed on him and his father and the Biden family for. All right. All right, you all. I managed to get through this longer than I thought I would without coughing or sneezing or anything else. So thank you so much for being with me. Thank you again for your prayers. I'll post the information on the classes down below, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take care. Bye.